Alright, good evening and welcome to another Boss Constructor progress report. As usual, I will give you your 10-minute summary of what I've been working on in the past weeks and what you can expect in the upcoming weeks. So let's begin by discussing the new modules which are in the game. As usual, I've been implementing one module a week, which was usually suggested by players. And let's begin with the micro armor. The micro armor is basically just 1x1 armor. It comes in 3 different varieties. We have these total square varieties, these triangle varieties, and these rounded corner varieties. It's a pretty simple module mechanically, but I think it's very useful, and especially these rounded edges can give ships a very distinct look, which I personally like a lot. Next we have the so-called Tesla gun, originally called the tree gun, which emits a fast-moving fractal-like structure, which is very, very effective at short range against bigger targets. And so it's a very strong, short to medium ranged weapon. Then we have the ore generator, which was a long requested feature, which basically adds an alternative way to generate energy. So as you can see, it is very effective. So it has a lot of energy production, given that it is only a 2x3 module. So it's much more space efficient than, for example, the solar panel. But the downside is that it consumes ore. So basically 1 unit of ore will give you 96 gigawatt seconds, which is 12 gigawatts for, I guess, 8 seconds. Well, I don't know, but I guess you can figure it out. Yeah. So especially if you want to build small and fast chips, the ore generator may be very useful for you. But the downside, of course, is that it costs you resources which you cannot use to upgrade your ship, for example. Next we have the torpedo launcher, which is actually off screen here. You can only see the explosion. So basically it's a long-range explosive type weapon, which emits this shockwave upon exploding, and it's actually pretty strong. And in order to balance it, you only have 2 shots per sector, so to say. So the module starts with 2 torpedoes, and once you have used them, they are gone. All right, so you cannot just spam your way to victory. Next we have, I do not have a screenshot for it apparently. It's here, okay. So we have the distress beacon, which is basically the replacement for the escape mechanic which we had previously. So previously you had 2 charges of escape, so to say, which would evacuate your ship from the sector, which was not really very elegant. So now this is replaced by distress beacons. These are 1x1 modules, and when you use them, your ship gets evacuated, but the module gets destroyed. So it's very expensive. I mean, as you can see, it costs 50 credits. So, fleeing is now really expensive, and you really have to think about when you want to use it. Okay, then there have also been some changes. For example, lights are now uncloaking cloaked chips, and you can use the grappling hook to grapple onto asteroids. So actually in the near future I intend to not spend so much time on adding new features and new modules, but on improving the stuff that is already in the game. For example, adding new synergies which give you more creative freedom on how you build your ships or how you use different mechanics. So for example, allowing you to grapple onto asteroids allows you to use asteroids like weapon. For example, you can grapple them and fling them into enemies. It's not very hard, it's not very easy, and it's sort of tricky at the moment, but that is the direction which I want to go to in the long run. Alright, so next big feature is the tutorial system. This is actually a feature which I wanted to implement a long time, but I was always sort of, not really motivated to do it. But I realized that it is a very, very important feature because the game can be very intimidating for new players. So now I have created a tutorial system, basically, which gives you instructions on screen and waits for you to complete certain actions. And I've also created a first tutorial, which is the getting started tutorial, which will teach you how the Hangar works, how the editor works, basically how testing works, and what the exploration mode is all about. I'm not really sure if I'm going to add many more advanced tutorials. I think it would make sense for more advanced players to get a tutorial which shows them all the possibilities you can do in the editor and all the different ships designs which are possible. But for the moment, the getting started tutorial was basically the top priority. Alright. Next, I've been working on many missions. So now we have 19 different objectives, 13 of which can be main objectives, and there's actually a lot of variety. So for example, defend factories, gather asteroids, rescue an allied ship, destroy your clone ship, kill boss waves, and so on. So these new objectives occur both in the exploration mode, and you can also manually select them in the skirmish mode if you so desire. And I think these missions add a lot of variety to the game and, make it less, give it more variety. Alright, and in the balancing department, I've also added an algorithm which balances the objective difficulty based on your progress on the galaxy map. So you will not get like the spawning boss enemies mission right at the start, which was a little bit hard. Yeah, this is where you can see how you can select the new missions in the skirmish mode if you want to play an individual mission. Alright, next big topic was the AI, which has seen a lot of improvements. The first main improvement is that the distinction between ramming ships and shooting ships is now correct. So this was actually a bug previously, which caused many ships to try to ram you, even though it was like a ship designed for shooting and not ramming. So this is now fixed, and the AI has been way improved as an effect. There was also a bug where ships did not go into close combat mode, which basically caused them not to aim at you, and it was pretty bad. And I've also added a ship collision avoidance system, so ships will now actively try to avoid collisions at close range. There was already like collision avoidance at the macro scale, so when navigating on the sector map, but there was no close range collision avoidance, which was now added. It does currently not work with asteroids yet, which I will probably add, but ships will, unless they are ramming ships of course, will try to actively avoid collisions, which is very nice. Yeah, and we are at the miscellaneous section. So here I've added different editor view modes and overlays. So as you can see in the top, we have these 5 buttons. By default, it is here in the empty mode, where you can see your ship as you are used to. And you can toggle the modes by clicking here. So for example, clicking here will give you the control overlay. which is also improved. So you can see the different... I guess I should have chosen a simpler ship for this demonstration. But you can not only see the action bind mode, but you can also see the key which is used, or the controller axis in case you're using a controller. Then I have added a quality overlay. So here you can see which module has which quality. So for example, the red ones are of poor quality, the green ones are better quality, and so on. I've also added this mode, which colors modules based on how tanky they are. So currently it's only the armor modules which are shown as green, the rest is black, which is not too useful, I guess. And the energy mode, which gives you a very simple, simplistic overview over where your energy is generated and where it is consumed. So I guess green modules generate energy, red modules consume energy, and yellow modules are weapons which are not active all the time. Alright, yeah, there's been some other stuff. For example, the minimap has been improved, particle systems have been improved, some more effects for the editor and so on, as well as some bug fixes and performance improvements. So I was actually sort of surprised how much stuff has actually been done in the last month. So it was actually surprisingly productive. Okay, so what are my plans for the near future? First of all, I don't intend to do as much new stuff in June because I have a lot of stuff to do. So I'm mainly going to focus on improving the stuff which is already in the game. I'm going to do many bug fixes, I'm going to do more performance improvements, and I'm also going to add some more graphical effects. I have some idea of improving the graphics in general, which I want to try out. I can't promise anything yet because I haven't tested it, but I have some stuff which I'm going to work on in that regard. Alright, so yeah, thank you very much for watching, and thanks for playing, and see you guys next time.